A man who passed away 17 years ago just had the biggest streaming week of his entire career. Not his biggest week since streaming started. His biggest week ever. Bigger than any week when he was alive. Bigger than when Thriller turned 40. Bigger than every Halloween Spike combined. Michael Jackson just hit 137.5 million on-demand streams in a single week in the United States alone. That's up 146% from his previous all-time high. Billie Jean re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 at number 38. Thriller, an album that came out in 1982, is sitting at number 7 on the Billboard 200 right now. In 2026, next to Drake, next to Kendrick, next to every artist alive. And the reason is a movie. One movie. The biopic didn't just remind the world who Michael Jackson was. It made an entirely new generation discover him for the first time. And the numbers prove that once you hear Michael Jackson, no matter what year it is, you don't stop listening. Let me break these numbers down because they're staggering. According to Billboard, Michael Jackson's solo catalog registered 137.5 million official on-demand streams for the week of April 24th through 30th. His previous career high was during Halloween week in 2019, when Thriller naturally spikes on seasonal playlists every October. He beat that by 146%. In 1 week, he also hit 55.9 million song clicks in the same period, beating his previous record of 53.7 million, also from Halloween 2019. And this time, it wasn't because of one song on a playlist. It was everything. The entire catalog. Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, all of it moving at once. And it's not just his solo work. The Jackson 5 and the Jacksons, the music he made with his brothers from the 1960s through the 1980s, generated 10.1 million streams that same week. That's up 135% from the week before. They also pulled 4.9 million song clicks, up 57%. Music that was recorded before most of this audience's parents were born is trending in 2026. That's not nostalgia, that's dominance. Now look at the album charts. Thriller, released November 30th, 1982, is currently the number 7 album in the entire United States. Not number 7 on a legacy chart, not number 7 on a reissue chart. Number 7 on the Billboard 200, competing against every new release in the country. Number 1's His Greatest Hits compilation is at number 13. The Michael movie soundtrack is at number 37. And The Essential Michael Jackson is at number 158. 4 Michael Jackson projects on the Billboard 200 simultaneously, 44 years after Thriller dropped. No other catalog artist in history has done that off the back of a single film. And here's the context that makes this even more insane. The movie that caused all of this has a 38% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics didn't like it. They called it sanitized. They called it a greatest hits reel with no depth. The director of Leaving Neverland called it a complete whitewash. And none of that mattered, because the audience score is 97%. The cinema score is an A-. The film opened to $97 million domestically and $218 million globally, the biggest opening weekend for any music biopic in history. It beat Straight Outta Compton. It beat Bohemian Rhapsody. It beat Elvis. And now Rolling Stone is reporting that the film is on pace to gross upwards of $1 billion worldwide. $1 billion for a movie about a man who's been gone since 2009. The streaming surge tells you something the box office can't. Ticket sales measure curiosity. Streaming measures love. When someone buys a movie ticket, they might just want to see what the hype is about. But when someone goes home after the movie and plays Billie Jean on repeat, then listens to Thriller, then goes deeper into Off the Wall and Bad, that's not curiosity anymore. That's a connection. And 137.5 million streams in 1 week means millions of people went home from that theater and fell in love with Michael Jackson's music, many of them for the very first time. That's the real legacy play the Jackson estate was making. The biopic wasn't just about telling his story. It was about introducing his catalog to a generation that grew up on Drake, Kendrick, and Travis Scott. A generation that streams everything and owns nothing. And now, Michael Jackson is in their rotation. Not as a history lesson, not as their parents' music, as their music. Because great music doesn't have a generation, it has a pulse. And right now, Michael Jackson's pulse is stronger than it's been in 17 years. The movie ends with a title card that says, "His story continues," and Rolling Stone confirmed that a sequel is expected, with tracks like Black or White, Remember the Time, and Scream likely to re-enter the charts when it drops. If the first movie did this to the streaming numbers, imagine what the second one does. Michael Jackson didn't just come back. He never left. The world just needed a reminder. And now, 137.5 million streams later, they remember. Subscribe, because the Michael Jackson era is back, and we're covering all of it.